Welcome everybody to another edition of the Raw and Uncut DC show. It's been a month, but we're finally back, and so this time around we're doing something a little different than we have done in the past. Before we used to always plan out our videos in advance, but we realized that wasn't going down the best route, so we decided to do something a little different and do it on the fly, make it truly raw and uncut. Isn't that right, man?
That's right, man.
We got to make it truly raw and uncut. And when you plan things out in advance, it's not really raw and uncut. I don't think so. So, anyways, the topic of the day is going to be something that I think that everyone can relate to, which is fake friends and trifling women. Isn't that right, man? I'll give you that thumbs up, man. I know a lot of people.
Man.
I can. I've had this issue my whole life, especially with fake friends. Not really trifling women. I had that a couple times, but boy, I've been cursed a lot of fake friends since I was in elementary school. I think haven't you, man? You've had your fair share of fake friends in your life.
Tons of them.
Why do you think that is, man? Do you think you're cursed with the curse of fake friends, or?
I think it's who we surround ourselves with. Sometimes we put too much trust in people, and sometimes trust is a thing that's got to be earned, man. It's not, you just don't meet somebody and fully, just off the bat trust them, man. You got to give, you got to give that person, and at the same time, they got to give you that trust back. It just can't happen easily. You know what I'm saying? And that's our problem, meaning not just us, meaning the world's problem of we trust too many people. We let too many people in our lives. We tell too many secrets that, a fake friend will go off with that and you say, oh, don't tell nobody, this is between us. You confide in somebody and then they go and blurt it to the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's true. And, I've had this problem since I was a kid. Like, I've always been the more so trusting kind of person. Like, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, see the good in every single person I meet, even though, human nature at its very core is, there's good and bad in all of us. But I try to always look for the good. Sometimes overlooking the very bad in people. And I've been walked down so much times in my past. I've had friends that I've always been like, to keep you at a distance, like, only when they want to call you when they're not around their girlfriend or when they're busy with somebody else. Like, you're kind of like a sidekick, when they want to drag you on every now and then. And it's been a problem. Besides you and a few other people in my life currently. So I have maybe three real friends in my life. And it's kind of sad because, I consider myself, an easy person to get along with. I'm very laid back. I'm not judgy. I don't judge people. Pretty open-minded, but it seems like I have the worst luck, at least I've gotten better nowadays, but picking friends, man. I don't know why that is, but like you said, it's very important to not fully trust somebody right away until they earn it. See, it seems nowadays that people, they want respect right away without earning it. Like, they want you to respect them right away without even knowing who they are or anything like that. They want to, just have it given to them. And I don't agree with that. I think it takes a long time to fully know somebody. I say about a year. Most people think about within a month you know somebody, and they want to move in with somebody or get a girlfriend. Like, I had this friend who had a girlfriend for about a month, and they moved in together, and they quickly broke up. A lot of people kind of rush that trust, and that's pretty much the big problem, man.
That's it, man.
Have you ever had that instance where you kind of rush to trust with somebody?
I've learned as you get older. See, that's why, like you just said earlier, of you don't have as many fake friends around now. Is because now you done got older. You know what to look for. You eliminate yourself from them.
Yeah.
So have I had them? Plenty of them, dude. I've had people that I've trusted with my life. I pulled jail time for people that I was totally innocent on, you know what I'm saying? But just to, make them look the way that their parents looked at them as them being goody-goody or something like that. I pulled so much time for these people, and in return, they were people that testified against me in court.
Yeah.
But I still stuck to my thing, hustle, loyalty, respect.
John, see?
There you go, man. You had to bring that up. But no, I just believed in, if I was going to go with it, then that would have made me out to be a liar in court. You know what I'm saying? And this same person that I put trust in, that I've known for so many years, at the same time, I needed to let go, but I didn't. Because I was like, oh, they're my friends. They just, made a couple bad choices and, blah, blah, blah. And then I let it go, and it just gets worse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It gets worse when you put that much trust in a person that did not give you anything to trust, and then what happened is that same dude messed with, my girl at the time. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I let it get out of control when I should have just nipped it in the bud, man.
And you know what?
So then
I
there
feel like
goes the
we have a lot
trifling
in
women.
common.
It's trifling for a woman to hit on the boyfriend's best friend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where the trifling comes into play.
I don't know how to do that. And I feel like we have a lot in common since we've known each other for like what, almost 10 years now.
About that.
I think we have a lot in common because when I was in a high school, I'm going to be honest, I was the kind of person who was desperate for friends. I would do anything to keep a friend, whether it be like do stupid shit like buy them beer, cigarettes when I turned 18, just to to look cool, to fit in with the cool crowd, do stupid shit like that. Get in trouble, like get suspended for them. I never got arrested, luckily. Luckily, I never went that far, but I probably would have done something stupid. You want to believe the good in people, and I feel like I look at people from a different viewpoint than most people. Like most people are very, very, very careful. Most people I know, they're very, very careful with the people they trust, especially my family. My family is very untrustworthy, especially my sister and that side of the family. Like I'm like totally different. I'm very more open. I'm willing to be friends with just about anybody. I don't care. So it makes me more easy to get walked on. And I'll never forget in high school, it used to happen all the time, where I would do stupid shit to get friends, thinking I was a cool part of the cool crowd, and just to get shit on in the end. And it took me a long time to learn a very important lesson, to not be so trusting so easily, because it's so easy to fall into that trap. And I think nowadays it's even worse nowadays with Facebook and stuff like that. People think they know people just to online, well, you really don't. It takes, I think, like I said, it takes about 6 months a year to fully know somebody, and even then, I don't think you fully ever know somebody. You
No.
know, I really don't. And the thing is, I'm so happy because honestly, I was afraid I never was going to break that pattern. I had a really bad pattern, man, when I was younger. I've always picking the wrong crowd. And surprisingly, I never turned to drugs and alcohol. Most of my friends when I was in school were stoners. And it's kind of surprised I never turned out that way. I'm kind of amazed myself that way. Because that was my crowd in school, was the stoners and the people that always got in trouble. So, I ditched school and stuff like that, but I never really didn't get me in too much trouble. But what about you? What was the kind of crowd you used to hang out with when you were younger?
Like how younger are we talking here?
I'll say junior high to high school. I'll say that.
Junior high, I was probably the person you didn't want to hang out with, to be honest.
Oh,
I'm never going to make myself out to be, this perfect person, and I always was. But I mean, at that time, probably junior high, I was a total hellion, man. And even as of high school, I was, I was out there, man. And the crowd, honestly, and in the school situation, I was pretty much the loner. I was the guy that, either nobody wanted to talk to or I didn't want to talk to them, whichever way you want to look at it. It was probably a little bit of both.
Like you sat by yourself at lunch in the corner. Like you were the type to sit by yourself, eat lunch by yourself, hang out by yourself during school breaks, stuff like that. Yeah. See, I was that
I was that kind of person.
I was so desperate to break away from that. I would do anything for a friend. Like I hated being that loner in the corner, being laughed at when all the guys would hang out with all the hot chicks. Like, and believe me, I was no saint when I was in high school, But I was the type that desperate for attention type. Like I would do stupid shit just to get noticed, whether it be like fart in class when the teacher's reading, just to try to be the forced class clown is what I would do. And so, junior high, I was the loner that you were. Junior high was the worst years of my life, man. I tell you. I had like one friend that whole 3 years. And I was in junior high. Never forget my friend Zach. We still talk occasionally, but we would talk about wrestling, because this is during the Attitude Era. Pretty much that's all it was. We would talk about wrestling. We would tend to play wrestling on the schoolyard and stuff like that. But like we were the losers of the school, man. So after high school, that's when I became desperate for those cool ass friends that you wanted to go to parties with and hang out after school with, So now you said that you were kind of the person that would be kind of rowdy. Go in more depth with that. Like what do you mean by that?
All right, I guess I'll start it off with you said middle school. That's when I started getting a little bit of a hellion there. I went to actually Peabody Middle School, which is in Petersburg, which is pretty much ghetto, you know. And
Yeah.
I knew then that obviously I won't like everybody else. Obviously, you know what I'm saying? Different
Yeah.
skin complexion. Uh, Let me finish my topic for people jump on that and say, you know, that I'm racist or something like that. But I mean, you know what I mean, dude.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
know.
like if you're around, if it's like a whole bunch of white people and it's one black person in the school, you know, they feel the same way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like that. So I already knew that I was sort of the outsider going into this school and stuff. And I'll never forget, Mr. Prince was my science teacher. And he was a gay black dude. And he just hated me. I don't know if it was the white thing or what the case may be, dude. But I mean, I would always, you know, at that time, you know, going in, you know, the 80s and 90s, growing up, you were picked on for not having fashion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you didn't have the best pair of Jordans that were coming out, or you know, Adidas at that time, you were bullied. And I was far from fashion at that time. And I don't know, you know, I was obviously secluded from everybody, so I would skip school, so I just pretty much wouldn't get bullied in school because everybody'd be like, oh, you wore that last year. You know what I'm saying? Yep.
Yeah.
I probably still got some of it to this day. You know what I'm saying? But I'll never forget, I raised my hand because I was so behind in that class, because I skipped 2 weeks straight till my mom got paid so I could have a new outfit going into the school and shit, so I could, you know, I wouldn't get picked on. So I went up in there and, you know, be raising my hand, asking Mr. Prince, help me, man. You know, I don't even know what we're doing. You know, I'm taking this test that I done missed 2 weeks of it and have no idea. Well, he wouldn't, I could never get his attention. I'd be sitting there, hey, you know, waving my hand, flagging him down. And he would come to everybody else's table, help them out, blah, blah, blah. So I thought, hell, you know, he's not going to get, I'm not going to get his attention this way. I think the best way to do this is to grab my book of matches and throw it at the lab that we had in the science room. Obviously, science lab, all them chemicals, dude. In the matter of seconds, the room went on fire, dude. We had to all escape out the window.
Oh, shit.
So at that time, you know, my parents came, obviously picked me up since I was a juvenile. You know, it won't like, you know, you had to get, you could sign yourself out. Your parents had to, you know, get you out of the juvenile situation and stuff. And they came and got me. So then we went to court, and they literally kicked me out of Petersburg schools, like I was never allowed back. So that's when the trouble really began in my situation. Then it was just like, it was so much going on, a lot of things I was blamed for. I mean, hell, I was in juvenile and if not jail at one point in time, and being blamed for something that I was in jail, so it was impossible for me to do. Like, I literally got charged for a crime when I'm up in jail, when it was a proven fact I was still up in jail at the time that the crime was committed, and still got time for it because I fit the description of somebody.
People that are kind of different. I mean, school's a really tough time when you feel like an outcast. Like, I had such a hard time in junior high, man. Like you said, man. And the thing is that I can understand where you're coming from. Like, most people probably, you know, are bashing you when you pull that stunt in school, but I understood why you would do something like that, because teachers are really assholes to people that are kind of like outcasts. You know, I had a lot of asshole teachers, man. Kind of like your science. I had a bunch of them in school, man. And I've always wanted to do something crazy like that. But the most crazy thing I ever done was like actually fart in class. That's as far as I went, but believe me, I wanted to set my classroom on fire too a couple of times. I had a lot of asshole teachers. I mean, why is that, man? Like they get above that shit, honestly. One thing I know is
well, I mean, what you got to realize is what they got to put up with sometimes. I mean, if you had a bunch of hellions going to that classroom, you know, it's a matter of time. You for you start to get a little bit crazy yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess I got to think about it. See, I sometimes forget to think about both perspectives. Sometimes I always forget that sometimes, like, there's a different perspective. But I guess because I was, like I said, I wasn't like as extreme as you were, but I did not. I never did my homework at all. I mean, I would get so much homework, I would not do shit. Like, I'll be too busy trying to hang out with my cool friends every single night, talk about wrestling, going to their house and stuff like that. Where I pretty much my whole school life was kind of pathetic because it was like all desperation for friends and the wrong kind of friends that you could possibly have. See, I grew up in Southern California, and you would think with such a nice area, it'd be full of these nice suburban kids, but no, these kids are wild and crazy, man. Half of them, like, I think 9% were stoners. Like, I mean, like 13, 14 years old, and they were smoking weed already. I mean, like, it was crazy, man. And I mean, I lived in a nice area of California too. I just, it was tough, man. Sounded like you had it a little bit easier because you grew up in the ghetto, so you knew what to expect.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up in all different kinds, dude. I mean, literally, I mean, that was when, that was pretty much, I guess to get a little bit personal with people here, me and my mom moved to Petersburg for the fact of, her and my dad didn't work out. So, things happen. We end up moving to the ghetto, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then shortly after that, obviously, to keep me from not going to jail anymore, we obviously had to move out of Petersburg for me to be able to go to a school, because literally I was kicked out of all Petersburg schools because of that incident. I mean, what you got to realize is technically I sort of I forgot what the charges were, but I mean, I'm sure it had to do something with almost attempted murder on people, because it was a science lab that could have actually injured everybody, including me, in it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we moved from there to Prince George, back to the country again. And at that time, dude, it was my mom was working 2 jobs just to pay the bills. You know what I'm saying? Because she was a single parent. And so naturally, if you're a kid, are you going to set the alarm and wake yourself up and walk yourself to the school? No. That's why I missed so much school, dude. I mean, I probably missed more school than I ever by far, ever went to school. And at that time, the good thing about the great old 80s and, early 90s is for you not to get bullied as much or picked on for your age or whatever the case may be. Say you were, I'm trying to think of this. I know this is kind of far-fetched, but obviously kindergarten, you're going to start, you're probably 5 years old. All right, yeah. Say somehow, some way you failed kindergarten 3 times in a row. You're 8 years old going into kindergarten. What they would do in these schools around Virginia is they would place you in the grade that matches your age. So literally, I failed so much, being as I didn't even have an F, dude. Like, I had incompletes because I never did anything. I was never at school, so mine was incomplete. I, all the way down. So I went from 8th grade. No, this is crazy, dude. I went from 8th grade in Prince George to 11th grade in that same year to match the age that I was. Now, that may sound perfect, but at the same time, they're not going to graduate you with, incompletes. So that made it even more harder on me, for the fact of, I don't know 11th grade education. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm
from the start.
They're doing things that I don't even know what the hell's going on in the classroom, man. So I'm like, oh my God. So I mean, then they got me to, I think I did 2 classes, and then I went to tech ed, where I did electronics.
Yeah.
Up in Prince George, and then I can't remember what happened after that, but I ended up stopping. Actually, I stopped at the 11th grade in Prince George.
And that was it for your whole school run right there?
Yeah, that was it, dude. But to be totally honest with you, I never passed a grade. Never passed 1 grade in my life. I mean, to be honest with you, dude, people can laugh at this, but this is raw and uncut, so it's the truth. I honestly failed kindergarten.
And that's a pretty big accomplishment, I think. I wouldn't feel bad about that because
I mean, it's hilarious, dude. Honestly, I was, as we can, look back at the videos before, we already know that, people know we were into horror movies and stuff like that. Well, at age 5, that's what I was watching was horror movies and stuff. So I was all into, the killers, Charles Manson and people like that, the real ones. And
yeah.
I just became a little crazy at even 5 years old, dude. That literally the teachers told my mom that I needed to go to the mental ward. That I was a nutcase, dude. That I was a possible serial killer.
Oh
And
shit.
it added to the fact of, I'm gonna tell you how I failed kindergarten was I had, here we go again with the pyro. I had a lighter in my pocket and I melted a crown on somebody.
Oh shit. You were a crazy muffin when you were young, man. It's badass. I would not want to mess with you in kindergarten, man.
Little old Damien, dude. I mean, as funny as it is, it wasn't funny at the time, dude. It was just
Yeah. I'm
to
sure all.
look back at it and to know that I'm telling, I'm being totally truthful here. It makes it hilarious, dude.
Yeah. Well, looking back on it now, seeing how far you've came since then. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
you can find humor
So
nowadays.
that's what I'm saying. In reality, I don't even have a kindergarten education because I didn't even pass that damn thing, man. So I mean, really,
I always wanted to ask
no
you, like,
education is what I would say, dude. All mine was self-taught, pretty much learning, reading on my own, studying on my own. That had nothing to do. Let's face it, half the stuff they teach you in school has nothing to do with you in the real world as you get older, dude.
no, it pisses me off. I mean, they hype up. You're just. It's really important to get this education. It's really important to get a diploma. You get your freaking high school diploma, and it don't mean shit. It ain't gonna get you a job. Maybe at McDonald's flipping burgers. That's as far as you're gonna get. If you're lucky,
That's what I'm saying.
a grocery store job. Like I was able to graduate because I dropped out when I turned 18. I dropped out, and I went to this trade school called Job Corps. That's where I got my diploma. It's like an online course. We do all your work online. And I kind of cheated, I cheated my way to a diploma, but it hasn't really helped me much. So I will say honestly, you're not really missing out. You still have the same struggles you have now with or without a diploma.
Yeah, man.
Still the same
All right,
struggles.
I guess we're going to get a little bit more on the trifling women since we ain't touched base with that.
Oh yeah, I'll let you start it up because I know you can relate more to that than I can. So go ahead, man.
Yeah, it's like, for a long time I was always trying to figure out what women wanted, dude. And the truth of the matter is they don't even know what they want half the time, dude. And, it's just like we've said once before of, like, basically what we were originally going to do as this video of fantasy and real life.
Yeah.
And how I'm going to say that is to prove my fact of how trifling they can be or just, confused, basically. I don't know what the right word is right now. But it's like, for instance, let's bring up some Twilight here.
Yeah.
Since we never, stated this, but we've always talked about this, is you have a guy like Edward, for instance, that's this lovey-dovey, mystery guy, and the women go crazy for. But at the same time, they don't look at it at the fact of what he really was insecure, pretty much to a certain degree, he bullied her.
Self-esteem issues. You got huge self-esteem.
Definitely self-esteem issues.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but they want that guy. Oh, I always want my Edward. But in reality, a lot of them have their Edward that they can't stand. They're like, oh, my God, what's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying?
Movies give you, I mean, I'm going to cut you off, but movies give us this deception of the perfect guy, the perfect girl. But when you look at reality and you have all those, you try to go through all those features, they really don't want that. I mean, if you really had a full Edward quality to you, most girls find that a turnoff in reality, even though they like it in fantasy. You see what I'm saying? The difference between fantasy and reality, as we were going to talk about earlier, that's what it is.
All right, I'm gonna bring one even better, dude, that everybody says is the greatest love story of all time, and that's the Notebook.
Well, I think they said Romeo and Juliet for a second.
No, I'm gonna go Notebook first. We'll break it on down.
Okay.
But the reason I'm gonna say the Notebook, all right, is they're like, oh, this guy, I forgot what the hell his name was. Noah may have been his name. That he was pretty much a poor dude. He was a poor dude. Let's face the facts. He was poor as hell. Had nothing really going for him, but I guess his love for this girl. Everybody wants this Noah. In reality, do you want that poor man? Probably not, because a lot of women leave men because they are sort of poor.
Yeah. If
you
have no money,
so once again, that whole fictional thing, it's not real, dude.
Yeah, the whole fantasy and reality that we were going to talk about earlier, man. Here it is right there. The fantasy.
There it is. And yeah, I mean, you can name them on. Say Titanic, for instance. Leonardo was poor.
Poor Jack, and he was poor when he got on the ship, and all of a sudden he scores that girl within 2 days.
But the other guy was pretty much a billionaire.
Yeah, he was rich.
In reality, let's face the facts here. Which one would majority of women choose?
Oh, the rich.
They would probably choose the rich dude. No matter how much he beat the hell out of her or anything like that, they would have chose him.
Yeah, it's like that's one thing where fantasy and reality really stick out the most is when it comes to like these ideas of a perfect woman or a perfect girl. You know, in movies like that would not happen. Whether he was abusive or not, most people stick with him because of the money. Just be told, because it's safe because he's rich. They don't have to worry about nothing.
Hello?
You still there, man? Hello?
Yeah, there you are.
Sorry, guys, we're having a little technical difficulties there. Oh, say, man.
Hold on, man. Hold on, I'm going to step out and have a cigarette. Continue.
Continue? Yeah, I think see, my experience with trifling women, I've had, I can count on my hand how many serious relationships I've ever had in my life. I'll never forget my first one. This is a girl, this is back when I just got my first computer, you know, I was joining all those dating websites and having a little blast. I was caught in the whole fantasy of a perfect relationship from all these movies. And I learned a really hard lesson that girls don't want guys that are so honest about their feelings. Because I was a person that I would tell you my feelings when I was younger. I would like talk you up a storm on the phone telling you how I feel and shit like that. Because that's how I was. I'm a very open person. And girls like guys with more confidence. It took a long time to learn that, but they like confidence. They like that bad boy persona, even if you're not really that way. And how else to put it? What's that word, man?
Do what?
Pretty much, they want a guy that has his shit together, a bad boy persona, and confidence. I didn't have any of that growing up, so I got cheated on twice because of that. Because you know, I didn't have those features. So I've learned over the years, even though I said when it comes to Twilight, every girl wants to say they want a Jacob or an Edward, but from what I've seen from my point of view, they want those bad boy types. And if you're not that bad boy type, there's a good very chance that if you do for a girl like that, you will be cheated on or dumped in the worst way manner, you know. And I can't figure it out, man.
All right, let's say this. Since we already done broke down Edward here, I know this has become sort of a Twilight discussion now. But let's say you didn't want a person like Edward that's all insecure and everything. You wanted Jacob. Let's face the facts of what he was. He was sort of abusive.
Yeah. He wasn't very trusting.
Really look at it.
He didn't trust Jacob. He didn't trust her alone with Jacob. He kind of forced his choices on her. And when girls say they want that, when it comes to the movies and stuff, if they actually had a boyfriend like that, would they want that though? Would they really want that? And to get back to the whole trifling women thing, let me ask you this. I want to get your opinion on this. Why do you think people cheat, whether it be men or women? What's your opinion on that? And I'll give you mine.
I think it relates to everyday world, dude. And the reason I say that is, are we ever really truly happy
I don't
with
think.
anything outside of women, outside of men, outside of relationships, outside of whatever? Are you ever really happy? If you were a billionaire, would you be happy? No, you would still want more money. So naturally, you know, it could be a list of things why a woman cheats or why a man cheats. Insecurity could be one. Maybe they're getting, that stability, that security from another person. Um, Maybe it's they let themselves go. They gained weight. Whatever the case may be, they grew whiskers.
I think. I think it could be any of that. It could be so much things. I think that unhappiness is probably the first one, but I try, and you probably won't agree with this, but I try to think that most people that do it are just cowards. They're afraid because sometimes when people are in a relationship, they want to believe they're in this perfect relationship, but they're afraid to hurt the other person, so they go behind the back and do the whole sneaky thing. To some people, it's even a turn on to do the sneaky thing behind someone's back. So I really think that people that do it are not evil people, but people that are just cowards to actually be honest and say, hey, we're not working out, so we're going to break up before I cheat on you. Most people don't do that. They do the whole backstab and sneaking in. Not to excuse the action itself, but that's what I think it is. Do you agree with that, or do you think it's something different?
Yeah, I agree with most of what you said.
That's one thing I've learned. I mean, like from my personal experiences, you know, I know why I was dumped when I was younger. I was a huge Edward. You know, I was very insecure. You can name them. But I always thought that that was what people wanted was honesty, and I was completely honest all the time. But yet, I've come to learn that sometimes. I guess it goes back to what you said earlier. Like, are we ever truly happy? And I don't think we are. So it's really important when it comes to relationship to find somebody that kind of completes you and kind of has the same personality as you. You know.
And I think another problem with to point us out here as men, I think our problem with us is our insecurity, and I think that just goes to show early on in the relationship. I mean, think of this. I mean, if y'all people are still watching here, give me an amen when I hit it. When
Amen,
I
brother.
hit it. All right, here we go. When you start off at a relationship, dude, and say y'all, she comes over to your house, you come over to her house. Oh my God, you're gonna light all the candles if you got to go number two. Am I right?
Yeah. You're gonna make sure they have the perfect scent, so she don't smell that shit.
That is the one. The keeper is the one that you feel comfortable with, slinging your door open and going as such.
Like, honey, I'm gonna take a shit, and just leave the door open. You don't give a shit. You have no fucks
And
to
then you
give.
pop on right on down here at this toilet
That's
and let her rip. That's the keeper right there. When you feel that comfortable. Our problem is we don't start off that way. Let's face it. We all fart. We all crap. We all pee, dude. So it should be normal. I don't think we should be like, oh my God, be ashamed of. You know, I think that's what makes me not insecure no more, dude. Is
You're not
I
insecure at
really
all, man.
don't care what I look like anymore, dude. I'm comfortable with the whiskers going on here. I know my girl says I need to trim my mustache here because it covers up my lip when I comb it down. But I mean, I'm that comfortable, dude. I mean, I'll sit there. Hell, I think it's funny as hell when I fart, dude. The word fart is funny.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No matter how old you get, and I think for some reason, dude, to be honest, I think it's a white thing. Because you never see like a black dude. If you fart in front of a black dude, even if they're the ones that farted, they will never admit they farted, dude. On
Yeah.
the other hand, you have white people that give you that courtesy sniff, like come here, smell this darn thing, smell what I let out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that's where I done got to. I'm a little bit more comfortable, dude, and it's basically who I am. Farting is who you are, dude. Embrace the fart, dude.
Like most guys say, yeah, excuse me, honey, and they go outside and kind of sneak their farts down so they don't fart around their girl. But like you're type that you don't give a shit, man. You're like, you know what? I got a fart. I'm letting it out right here.
Yeah.
And
There you
that's the
go.
point I've learned the hard way is that you got to find there's no such thing as a perfect relationship. Movies give you this idea of a perfect, but there's no perfect relationship. Hell, Edward and Bella, going back to Twilight again, man. How much shit did they go through in those 4 movies? It was no perfect relationship. I don't know how people get the idea it was a perfect relationship. Maybe because she was so forgiving. Most women are not that forgiving, I guess, in real life, which is true. So I guess that part of it is kind of perfect, but it's really important to find somebody that you have the same qualities with, the same kind of personality with, because
Well, that's what I'm
otherwise,
saying, dude. Like, my personal view on how pretty much relationships can and cannot work. Do you want a person that's identical to you, that likes everything you like? No.
yeah,
I mean, even as of, say, your best friend, say you're into football, dude, and they come over and you have, a tailgate party or whatever the case may be, and, you watch your football. You don't want your best friend to like the same team you like because it's not fun. All you do is the high fives and stuff like that. No, you want that argument, that little bit of, you know, something going on there, something different, dude. But
that's
however, there is certain things that you do need to see eye to eye on, and one of the main ones I personally think, it's not really politics, dude. Let's face the facts. I'm not saying that Cindy's a Democrat right now. Obviously, with the president we got, regardless if you're Democrat or Republican at this point, you're going to side with the Republicans because of
you
the
Obama.
president we've got, because he ain't mounting so much here. But it's not even that. You can totally date a woman that's a Democrat or vice versa. Republican, you're a Democrat, whatever the case may be. It's not that. The thing that you need to have something in common with is, do you really love each other, for one? The other is, if you're a religious person, you need that other religious person.
Yeah, that's
It's
very
very
important.
important. If you're out, a devil worshiper, you need to get with a devil worshiper. You know what I'm saying? If you're,
Yeah.
you know,
If you're a
a
vampire,
Wiccan, you need to get with a Wiccan. If you're, a Baptist, not saying that you need to get with a Baptist, maybe get with somebody that shares similar beliefs, whether that, that be a little bit of, a Catholic thing or whatever the case may be. You definitely, you definitely can't have a relationship with you being the one that believes in God and the other one's a straight atheist. It's just not going to work, dude.
especially when you can't agree to disagree. I mean, let's face it. It's fun to have those little friendly debates, like you said, football. Like when someone comes over and they're not really a big football fan, and they want to challenge you on your love for football. It's okay to have those friendly debates, but if you really are so different where you just can't agree to disagree, that's when it becomes a huge problem. Which leads to that whole trifling women thing that we're talking about. Like, I really think when it comes to cheating, whether it be male or female, it's due to that huge difference in the relationship where people just can't meet that middle ground. Like you said, they think they love each other, but they don't really love each other. And so it leads to those strong reactions where somebody cheats on somebody and does some messed up stuff, behind somebody's back.
Yeah.
And like you said, I'm sure you and Sydney, for example, have a lot of differences. But yet you guys still get along just fine, what I'm saying? So it's really important to have that, I think. And it's rare to find that, though. I know with you, you've had a lot of history with women. I remember, like, just 2 years ago, man, you used to call me hanging out outside, getting kicked out of your room or something like that. So, but it's really important to find that someone you get along with. Something I'm still like struggling with today, but yeah. What do you think, man?
You just gotta, like I said, you just gotta find that one interest that y'all share, dude. Whatever it is, and that's that one thing that you hang on to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's so rare to find. When you find that person, it shouldn't feel like a work. Like you have to work to keep the relationship. A lot of times, people feel like they have to be obligated to make it work. If you're fighting every single day to keep that spark alive, it's time to call it quits.
There you
Now, I was
go.
going to ask you, to get back to the whole trifling one, because I know we kind of got off topic for a little bit, but what do you think of some tall signs that a woman might cheat on you? Like some warnings and red flags that people should look out for?
Uh, I would say not even really wanting to spend a lot of time.
Well, that's a
I
big
mean,
one.
true, everybody needs their space at times. But I mean, if you're constantly being the one stood up all the time by the girl or by the dude, that's automatically a woman's, a warning sign there. Getting kicked out of your home's a warning sign. You know, not saying, I mean, not saying that everyone, say if you got cheated on, not saying that that ain't that one for you. If they admitted they did a mistake and they're willing to work on it, that might be that one. Because just like you said, ain't no relationship perfect. You're going to have, terrible times, whether that be financial trouble, whether that be, the cheating issue, um, just straight up arguments. It's the ones that continuously fight for that relationship. That might be that one that works.
Kind of like me and Leah, man. It's been that way.
There you go. That that might be it, dude. I mean, you think of it. I mean, bringing up the Notebook once again. I mean, she technically left him for another man, but
Yeah.
that's considered true love right there. That was considered a love story. After she left him for another man, and hell was messing with him when she was with the other man. So I mean,
Yeah. And yet they still overcame those differences. So communication and even sometimes even like the really bad fuck ups as cheating doesn't always spell doom for a relationship. Is what you're saying, pretty much. And I agree with that. I know most people don't. Most people are very, and that's I can understand. Most people have a very hard to forgive something as cheating, which it is hard to forgive. If you've ever been cheated on, you understand how hard it is to even contemplate. But sometimes, like you said, if you found the one, you found the one. So even if something bad like that happens, if there's true love there, it will work out. I think, or is that fantasy? I don't know.
no, it's not fantasy.
I think so. I think it's true. Yeah, man. Had to crank you up there. All right, brother. You have anything more to say for this video, man, before we close it out here?
I think we're good for now, dude.
We're good for now. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I think this discussion will definitely reach a lot of people. I think a lot of people can relate to what we talked about in here. And feel free to share your feedback and some of your stories about, trafficking women or fake friends. And hope you all enjoyed this video.